Greetings, Minecrafters, and welcome to another Minecraft discussion today. Remember, it's all about becoming the boss of your brain. That is what we are here to talk about. Thoughts first, feelings second, actions or behaviors third. My name is Kimberly Quinn, and I am thrilled to be here today. In general, like when I wake up on this side of the dirt, it's a good day. And now I get to do what I love, which is to be with all of you and spread the positivity. So today I'd like to talk about paying attention to your life. Pay attention to your life. Because here's the thing, it is always speaking to us. Our lives are life is always speaking to us. Call it, again, universe, higher power, God, source, always speaking to us. It's having a conversation. And source is also speaking to us in sort of a context or a language that we can get right now. Sometimes it has to be more subtle. Sometimes it has to be, I'm thinking like with me, with the quizzes I haven't passed, even recently, it's like a sledgehammer, but it's like, okay, now you get it, now I'm awake. But it's a language, it's in a way that we can get within the context of our lives. And also, here's the thing is we need to be still. We need to be still in order to really hear these messages. And when I don't mean like, Zen monk in a cave eating yogurt. And I was actually thinking when I was inspired by this earlier this morning, I'm actually at my most still when I'm skiing and whipping through the trees, and preferably with a pitch. And that's because a pitch, steep, right, is at least for me, I think for most skiers who aren't just beginning, let's just say that. Because it actually helps you turn in the trees and everything. It just kind of aids you. And so I'm still, even though I'm moving, but I'm still in my mind. So we're talking about stillness of mind, not necessarily body. And we've talked about mindfulness coming with us, and wherever we go, which is one of the main reasons I love it, because this fast mind, not in this lifetime, is going to sit, like in a lotus position. For me, that would be opening every door and window in the house and letting the whole neighborhood in. The obstetrician who delivered me, everybody. So it won't work. So being mindful, even if your body is in movement. And personally, I have the calmest mind when I'm in motion. So there you go. So stillness, whatever that means for you. So I wrote a note. Hold on, hang tight. Oh, we also need to get, when we're in this mode, paying attention to our lives, we are not defined with what other people think. Who gives a fat rat's ass? In fact, I just did a video, I forget, I think it was yesterday, we talked about the frame thing, which I could go get, but that would take up time. Our identity, our authenticity, our self-acceptance, our self-love, our self-everything good, our highest vibe self is inside of our frame. When we get pulled out of our frames into caring what other people think, it brings us down. Not only brings us down, but gets us lost. It's like getting, yanked off a trail in the deep woods, and now, like, where am I? Don't know. Don't have my compass, no cell phone. Where do I go now? Don't know. And we get lost and go off in a direction that's not going to be beneficial, probably. Okay, so that's the thing. If we get off our authentic path, it's not going to go well for us. And also to remember, we also talked about the reputation thing in the last one, right? So as far as being defined by what other people think, sometimes you hear, oh, my reputation, my reputation. Here's the thing. Your reputation is like a little piece of popcorn in everybody else's heads. And it might not even be people who you even see or know. Like, let's say you're doing videos like I am. There are people watching from who knows where. And reputations are all in these people like a little piece of popcorn. And you can't go, dipping into people's heads and take a little piece of popcorn out. Like, can't work. So you have to let that go. Just let it go and just do your thing. And it's also important when we pay attention to our lives, that we remember that really there's no such thing as a mistake or a failure. It's just our actions producing results. So Oprah says this, Wayne Dyer says this. So when we look at it this way, I think it's a little easier to swallow. It's just a redirect. So if we are not listening and hearing, because they are different, right? Listening is like on the way to hearing, but we can listen all we want. If we're not listening actively and we're receptive, we're not going to hear, right? So if we're actually hearing, then that what might be labeled as a mistake or failure by others is really just a redirection. Maybe we got a little too much of our own will in there, and the universe is saying, well, okay, fine, go ahead, but I had this in store for you. It's, way better, but by all means, and it's a little redirection if we get too off track. So, and here's the other thing, paying attention to our lives. We cannot pay attention to our lives very easily if we do not keep ourselves filled up. Oprah talks about this a lot. And I love how she says, like in her earlier years, it might have bothered her, like, oh, she's so full of herself. She's so full of herself. She goes, mm-mm. And she says, now it's a compliment. Oprah's such a dear friend. She doesn't know, but I just love her. It's a compliment now because you know what? I'm authentic. It's not about being braggy. It's about authentic. I feel so great in my skin that I realize I need to be filled up. Okay, I need to be filled up. Whatever runneth over, that's for y'all. She's got another friend who says that. I forget who. Whatever's filled up and over the top is for y'all. What's in the cup is for me. And I need to keep filled up because I cannot give what I do not have. That is it. And this helps us to know our next move because you can't be receptive and hear whatever your next move is if you're drained down to your bone marrow. Not only that, people that are burnt out, drained and burnt out, are cranky, just not much fun to be around. They usually get sick, they're exhausted, they're a drag, right? They're just a total drag. So you have to keep yourself filled up so you've got everything to give the world. Because we do, every single one of us, the almost 8 billion of us snowflakes that are all different out there, who are all different, we all have something to give that's unique to the world. It's in there. It's just like an archaeological dig. You gotta, release it, let it do its thing. And that's how it is. And so that's how we know that's what we know what our power base is when we get in alignment with the universe, God, source, for me it's God, in alignment, our personality with what we were put on this earth to do, we are then in the flow. And the word alignment, I think of my cousin Jimmy, because he's a chiropractor, he would say like shoulders over hips over heels. Well, spiritually, that's not really different. When we're in alignment, we just, metaphorically speaking, walk upright and with ease. It's all we're gelling. We got the swag. We can just do it. And this is how we really feel what our power base is. And I know what mine is. Fabulous 57. It's taken a while. My power base, I've always known it was with people, and even more so because individually I love people too, for sure. But my real in the flow zone strength is when I have an audience. Whether it's my students, my Minecrafters. Even virtually, I prefer in person, but virtually still, I totally get to charge virtually. Having a conversation with all of you, and also when I'm away at a college or university or other organization, doing it on stage and really connecting with people. And then when they stay after and ask all these questions, and I honestly forget what time it is. Don't care either, because there's no one else I'd be ever, nowhere else I'd be than right there. And just doing my thing. I'm just in such a flow zone. Again, same in the classroom, same with doing the videos, because my power base is with people, specifically with mirroring or channeling to help people see their own value, and we've talked about that, and also just to spread as much positivity as I can. And when I'm in this zone like I'm in right now talking with you, I'm just like, woohoo, you can't even put words to it. Can't put words to it. It's so great. And so that's really it. And in order to be in the flow zone, we've got to pay attention to what the universe, source, for me it's God, is saying back to us. So it's kind of like we put it out there. It's just like a back and forth conversation. Think about those of us who are in this age range. Think about the little cups with the string, cup, string, and we would talk on the telephone like that. Okay, I'm talking to the universe, source, and then what comes back through the string from the other cup is universe, source, God talking to us. That's what some people call, insight or intuition. Insight's a little different actually, but related. Intuition, but we have to hear and listen to those whispers. As Oprah says, we got to listen to the whispers before they turn into bricks. So that's it. Pay attention to your life. Nothing more important than this and keeping yourself filled up. This is Kimberly Quinn signing off from my living room in northern Vermont. Have a mindful day.